Hey YouTube, this is Ian from Big Rock Outdoors. So one thing that's come up a lot in the comments and all the discussion out there recently is, are the 1200cc bikes like the R1200 GS or the Super Tenere or the Multistrada or these big kind of street-oriented 1200s, are they still really true adventure bikes and are they relevant in today's world? We have bikes coming out like the Yamaha Tenere 700. We've had the 790R and the 790S for a year now. You've got other options like the Tiger 900, you've got the 850 GS, you've got the Africa Twin, which behaves more like that mid-size adventure bike. So these big bikes with these 19-inch front wheels and these 550+ pound weights, what is the point of these bikes anymore? Well, you can't have everything. And if you give up something like a 1200 GS or Super Tenere or a Multistrada or one of the big adventure bikes, you are going to lose a lot on the road. So the things that you're potentially going to lose on the street by going down to a smaller bike, you're going to lose things like the shaft drive, which you don't have to really maintain when you're on a trip. You're going to lose the big adjustable windshields. You're going to lose that sort of ability for it to loaf along at 90 miles an hour out on the freeway and set your cruise control. You're going to lose the stability in high winds and crosswinds and going around trucks. So if you're someone who likes to take very long trips, maybe you're going to ride to Alaska, maybe you're going to ride across the US a lot and stick mostly on the highway, you're really better served by one of these larger bikes. When I think about some of the trips I want to take, like up to Banff National Park in Canada or up to Alaska to Prudhoe Bay, or just zipping out to Colorado to ride some forest roads out there, I really picture myself riding my 1200 GS. I can't think of any other bike, especially if you had the adventure version of it, that would be better for those long touring trips. I just can't. If I think of myself having something like a Tenere 700 or the 790R, which I just did a full review on, I don't think I would really look forward to taking it on that long of a trip where you're riding 500 miles a day for 1 or 2 weeks on end. The other thing about the big 1200s or the 1000cc plus bikes is that they're kind of a replacement for a sport touring bike or a street bike. I don't own a pure street bike because I don't see a reason to. When you have something like a 1200 GS, it is a street bike. Essentially, you don't need one of these other sport touring bikes. Now there's obviously a lot of downsides to having something like a 1200. At 550 pounds, it's really too heavy to do any serious off-roading. I mean, is it capable? Yes, you can do it, you can survive it if you're a good rider, but it's more about surviving the trail than really enjoying it. I have to admit that most of the riding I do, most of the day rides or weekend rides I do from my house, under 200 miles, maybe a 50-50 mix of fire roads and street, I'd be much happier riding something like the T7 or the 790R, or come on manufacturers, give us some other choices in this area, please. We need a small Africa Twin. We need some other choices here. So what I would like to do, if I can pull it off, is get a bike in that middle range to cover a lot of that riding that I do, and then keep my 1200 for touring trips, which I hope to be able to do, and then obviously keep the 500 because I love dirt biking and I need to have a dirt bike in the garage. So the short answer is yes, I do think the big adventure bikes are still going to continue to sell really well. They're still going to serve a really important purpose in people's garages. You have to understand that a lot of so-called adventure riders are kind of posers, but I don't mean that in a bad way. What I mean is that these bikes are amazing street bikes. So for a lot of people, they're replacing their RT or their FJR or whatever that Goldwing or whatever those bikes might be. And I think that's a segment in trouble, by the way. And I'm going to have another video on that, on why I think bikes like the Goldwing might kind of go away. So they're not poser bikes, they just serve a different purpose in your garage. Would I consider selling my 1200 to get something smaller? I might consider it, but I would full well know what I'm giving up by making that move. There's no unicorn bike, there's no perfect bike. There are more bikes coming out now, like the Tenere 700 and the 790, that try to do everything. And for the most part, they can do almost everything, but will they do it as well as specific bikes for that purpose? No, that's not possible. It's against the laws of physics. I hope this video was useful for you guys. Let me know what other videos you'd like to see down in the comments. Until then, ride safe, see you on the trail, and see you next time.
I have the foot pegs, but they're too wide. Here's the ice cream truck.